Hello. So I got an email. I've been on LinkedIn for 20 years. Isn't that exciting? No, it's not exciting at all. It's a bit like one of those things where it says it's such and such person's birthday or they've got a new job. It's like, yeah. So let's look at LinkedIn and how it's changed over the few years. So let me ask some questions. Has it helped me build connections? Has it helped me improve my relationships with my customers, find new customers? Is it worth paying for? And where is the future of LinkedIn? These are all good questions. Maybe. But I thought I'd start talking about dating apps. Now, I met my wife in the pub. I'm probably a bit old for dating apps to be really useful, but I notice increasingly people are not using them anymore. They're using social events, they're doing hobbies and meeting up with people that way. And I think what we've discovered with social media is just because you can contact anybody in the world at any point that you'd like to, that isn't actually that useful. And I think that's really the fundamental problem with social media is that LinkedIn is not thinking enough about growing the connections you have already. It's thinking about adding new ones. But how many connections do you want? 20,000 is the limit on LinkedIn. Now, can you have a relationship with 20,000 people? I think it would be much better if you could only have 50 connections. It would be a much better tool. Has it helped me improve my relationship with my connections? Well, the short answer is no, not really. When I meet somebody new and they're business related, I'll go and look to their LinkedIn. I'll see who we know in common. I'll see what they've done, where they've worked, find out a bit more about what they do. But to be frank, it's not really that helpful. It just kind of speeds up the conversation a little bit. Is it worth paying for? Well, I pay for it. Is it worth it? No, not really. The thing I use the most is being able to message people who I'm not connected with. But quite frankly, I could find their email address. It wouldn't be that hard to do. Most people's email address is publicly available now. And a lot of people I just don't use these platforms anymore. They've given up with it. They're not on Facebook. Well, they've got accounts. They're not using them. They've got LinkedIn. They don't use them. So that noise isn't adding any value to anyone. And I posted recently a video about AI, and I noticed loads of AI bots commented on it. I asked Claude to create a script that would only get response from AI bots, which it did. I'll share it with you. I'm not going to post it on LinkedIn because I'll probably get banned. But what's interesting about that is the noise is just useless. So rather than adding more features, making it more like Snapchat or Instagram, maybe LinkedIn in the future could focus on deep, meaningful relationships rather than superficial ones. And then recently it's decided that it's going to get into politics. I don't think that that's a very sensible idea. I don't think that people's politics should necessarily form part of their work relationship. Maybe after work discussion, but I think that's a dangerous path to go down, and it's leading us in a direction that we probably don't want to go in. So, will I be on LinkedIn in another 20 years? Well, I'll be retired, but I don't think that the platform has a future in its current model. I know it's very profitable, but technology is going to enable us to communicate with people in a much better way. Once we get to the point over the next probably 2 years where AI is able to communicate with people at scale, it's going to get more and more annoying, and people are going to have to turn this stuff off because it's just not going to work anymore. So all of these social media platforms are going to have to redesign themselves. So you've got your circles, which is a shame with Twitter that it wasn't able to do that, because I think that's a really valuable thing. It's like, here's the close people I speak to, here's the people outside that, and then here's general stuff. Because then the echo chamber problem kind of goes away. Anyway, I think at the moment LinkedIn is it's okay for networking outreach, and I do use it a lot, but the tool leaves a lot to be desired. It's a real shame that they got rid of their API as well, because that was a great way of pulling information into your CRM. I think the platform itself is it's reaching the end of its life. It's getting quite stale. And all these social media platforms have a life, you know. Since I joined Six Degrees back in the 90s, all of these platforms, or Friends Reunited, I just don't see that it's going to be able to innovate quickly enough. And it doesn't do what people want. It doesn't connect people in the right way. And I think we're all really recognizing that actually these things are a detriment to society. They're not delivering what we need. So 20 years of LinkedIn, should I be using it more? Probably. Should I be putting more time into it? I don't think so. What do you think? Let me know how you're using it. Does it actually bring you money in your pocket? It sort of does, but it's quite hard to measure, I think. Anyway, that's all from me for today. Let me know what you think.